Robinson Superior Treaty Territory, and that the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe. Hope everybody's staying safe and getting their first, second vaccines or their booster shots. It's really important at this stage of the game right now. Anyway, this is the open session. We have approval of the agenda. Any disclosures? Oh, approve, yeah, right. We have 4 additions to add to the agenda, and they'll all be their department reports from Tammy, our new Director of Operations, and there'll be 5, 6, 7, and 8 under department reports and committee board minutes. Any disclosures of interest? Hearing none. We have a delegation tonight, and it's from MPAC. I'll let Nathan go.
Thanks for joining us today, Charla. I'll let you get started with your presentation.
Great, thank you so much. Just one second, I'll share my screen. Okay, can you see everything?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for inviting me here today. I was chatting with Nathan and Marlene in a previous meeting that I had with them, and they indicated that you had some questions about some things, especially considering the assessment, the pause in the assessment update. So I just want to go over a few things with you. As Nathan mentioned, my name is Charla, and Charla Napton. I'm the account manager in this zone. I took over from Chad Tanner. I joined MPAC in 2021. So I really look forward to meeting you and getting to know you a bit better, getting to know your team, your administration team, and just, you know, some of the things going on in Schreiber as we move into 2022. So just to go over a couple of things, like as I mentioned, I know you have some questions regarding the province's decision to postpone the assessment update, but I'd just like to start with this slide because it outlines the roles we all play in Ontario's property assessment and taxation system. So the provincial government sets the legislation and policies that are used by MPAC to assess properties in Ontario. MPAC assesses and classifies every property in Ontario, from single-family homes to commercial buildings, industrial factories, and farmland. Our Ontario property database is one of the most complex in the world, and we have data on over 5.4 million properties. MPAC determines the assessed value based on the legislated valuation date decided upon by Ontario's Ministry of Finance, and we'll get to that in a moment. The information MPAC gathers informs municipal revenue and taxation decisions. The municipality determines its required budget and residential property tax rate each year and charges property owners taxes based on that rate using MPAC's assessed value of their property. Typically, and based on the current assessment property system, every 4 years we conduct an assessment update. This is when we determine what every single property in Ontario could have reasonably sold for in its state and condition at a particular point in time. We were scheduled to conduct an update in 2020 that should have taken effect in 2021, but it was postponed by the provincial government due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Property values continue to be based on the market as of January 1st, 2016, which is what our last point in time, or what we call the valuation date. For now, each time we make a change to a property assessment, we use the January 1st, 2016 valuation date, which is legislated by the Ontario government. This means every property continues to be valued at the same point in time and in turn is taxed fairly. As part of its 2021 spring budget, and then again in the fall economic statement released on November the 4th, the Ontario government postponed the assessment update. This means property values will continue to be based on the market as of January 1st, 2016 for the 2022 and 2023 taxation years. As per the fall economic statement from the Minister of Finance, and I quote, "Input regarding the timing and evaluation date for the next reassessment has been sought through the Property Assessment and Taxation Review. During these consultations, the government heard a wide range of views expressed by municipal and taxpayer representatives. The government has considered the advice that was received and has concluded that the priority is maintaining stability for taxpayers and municipalities at this time." MPAC communicated the update to our municipal partners shortly after the announcement, and we continue to update municipalities on changes through our municipal newsletters and monthly webinars. We understand municipalities are eager to know when the next province-wide assessment update will be, what the valuation date will be, and what the phase-in period will be. We do not have the answers to these questions. We also are waiting for direction and clarity from the province of Ontario. Throughout 2021, MPAC has been meeting with the Ministry of Finance to provide them with market insights that will help them make decisions on the next update and the valuation date, and will continue to do so. In the meantime, we're working every day to make sure we are prepared when we're asked to deliver the next assessment update. We're working every day to maintain Ontario's database of more than 5.4 million properties. We're always working preparing for the next update. We do that by capturing property changes and growth over time. We complete property inspections, and we assess new construction, additions, and renovations promptly so they can be added to the municipal assessment rolls. In 2021, we added just over $542 million in new assessment for Northern Ontario. We're constantly analyzing the market by reviewing sales transactions and other indicators like rent and construction costs. We serve property owners by responding to inquiries and working to help people and businesses better understand their assessment and MPAC's role in Ontario's property tax and assessment system. We support municipalities and industry by working collaboratively with them on projects that are important to municipalities. We also have statutory duties. We respond to vacancy and tax applications. We handle requests for reconsiderations and appeals. We maintain people data. We track school support for all 5.4 million properties in Ontario and provide a preliminary list of electors to support the 2022 municipal and school board elections. We're rebuilding Municipal Connect, which is our most important tool in delivering data and resources to our municipal partners. We'll continue to evolve the platform, and 2022 will see new tools and enhancements to support municipalities with their operations and planning. So now that we have looked at the roles of who does what does this mean in relation to taxation? Each property owner pays property tax in accordance with how much their property is worth. The municipality takes the assessed value as provided by MPAC and multiplies it by the tax rates they set for various property types. It is important to note that an increase in assessed value does not necessarily mean higher property taxes. The most important factor is not how much your assessed value has changed, but how it has changed relative to the average change for your property type in the municipality. Although there are certainly reasons to update the assessments, primarily to ensure that the distribution of taxes is equitable within and between classes, municipal budgets are based on how much the municipality needs to spend to operate, not on whether assessments have been updated to reflect a new valuation date. So how do assessment changes affect property taxes? If we look at the first example, when assessments increase at the same rate as other properties in their class, there should be no change to an individual's property taxes. This is what is happening now. All properties are increasing by 0%, staying at the same 2016 valuation date. Any increase in taxes is due to increased costs borne by the municipality. Under the second example, a property's value decreases or doesn't increase as much compared to other properties in their class. All things being equal, the property owner will see a decrease in their taxes. Lastly, if a property increases more than other properties in their class, the owner will see an increase in their taxes, even if the budget remains the same. We know there's a lot of concern from municipalities on what assessment values will look like when there is a new assessment update, especially considering it will be at least 8 years since the last one. and we've all watched how housing prices have rapidly increased in the past couple of years. It will be important for ratepayers to know how this increase may affect their taxes. This is something that MPAC is committed to helping ratepayers understand. As part of our strategic plan, we are committed to improving the property owner experience. In 2022, we will focus on education content for property owners, help them understand MPAC's role, how we assess properties, and help to get the message across to them that a large increase in their property value does not necessarily mean a large increase in property taxes. We know a lot of this comes down to you guys at the local level, so we're here to work with you to help get that message across prior to the next assessment update. As I mentioned, we strive to keep municipalities up to date through our In Touch newsletters, monthly municipal webinars, update meetings with your municipal administration, and presentations at municipal conferences such as AMO, NOMA, etc. Recently, an invite was sent to municipal staff and heads of council to attend our January 13th webinar, which is an overview of MPAC's new strategic plan and our 2022 municipal priorities. I encourage you to participate if you can. We're looking for feedback from our municipal partners on how we can continue to provide more value-added services to support you and the work you do in our municipalities. If you're unable to participate, the webinars are available afterwards through a link on our website, and I'd really be happy to hear from you and the CAO just on your thoughts, how we can work together better moving forward, okay? So I'm gonna stop sharing the screen and I'll open up to any further questions that you might have.
Okay, I have a question. So what can you forecast for our community?
For your assessment values?
For the reassessment in 2024.
How much they're going to go up by?
Yeah, you say you keep an eye on the market and
yeah, I can't tell you right now what your assessed values will be. That, like I said, we do not know what the assessment date will be, or the current value assessment date will be. That will be set by the provincial government. We're not sure at this point in time what date they will pick.
Okay, but you keep an eye on our community, like what you're doing right now. You're not reassessing, but are you keeping an eye on the market?
Yeah, yes, they're constantly keeping an eye on the market. I know there's some certain areas in your municipality that there were concerns about before, and I know that is something that the valuation team, is making sure they'll be looking into.
Okay. Do you?
Basically, we were prepared for an assessment update in 2020. So the work had been done, and then when it was postponed, MPAC still continued as if there would be an assessment update. So all the work that is usually done for an assessment update is still happening.
Okay, so for the reassessment, will you be? Is there something different? I mean, do you have different ways of assessing property? Can you enter a building to see if there's been any changes? Is that something that you do, or is it that? How do you determine if there have been any changes in a building?
Well, usually we would look at building permits. So the municipality submits building permits to us, or they might submit tax applications. Let's say if there was a fire or a demolition. So we'd look at those properties and reassess them at that time. Basically, we look at sales data to reassess it. They wouldn't go into every property in Ontario to look at what might have been done.
So So really, you're not allowed to go into a building unless someone invites you in?
Well, right now, they might inspect a building if we had a building permit or we were advised that there were changes made to a building. We might get a building permit that someone put an addition on, they built a garage. In those instances, we would go and visit those properties.
But other than that, you wouldn't enter the building unless invited in, correct?
Not usually, not at this time. If there's concerns about certain properties that you're concerned that might not be assessed property, that's something definitely that your CAO can bring to our attention.
Okay, right now, how long has the government said you don't have to assess, 2024?
They have not set a date.
No, they haven't set a date, okay, it's just
No, they
not
haven't
this
set a
year.
date.
But it's not
So-
2022.
We have not heard.
So when will,
Right?
when will the assessments come out for this year?
Usually, so they would come out, the residential assessments usually come out in the springtime. So if let's say we had done one in 2020, as it would have come out probably in May or June for the residential properties. Commercial and industrial would come out later in the fall. But usually what happens, and like I said, I'm new here, so I wasn't a part of the last assessment update, but it's my understanding that we'll be working with your team to go over any areas of concern, kind of give you a heads up as to what's going on in your municipality before those property notices go out.
Right. So every year, you can put in an RFR?
Yeah, if you get a property assessment notice, you can put in RFR in for it if you don't agree with it.
So that's every year, you would get a notice every year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I said, we're trying to work with residents, with property owners, with the municipality to get out as much information as possible so they understand how their property is assessed, so we can direct them to my property and they can look at other properties around them to see how they're assessed, to try to hopefully cut down on RFRs and, things like that once the new assessment goes out. As I said, part of the next strategic plan is a lot of education, especially to property owners.
Do you have any other questions from council?
No.
I think we're good. Thank you very much for attending today, Charla.
Oh, no problem. And Nathan has my contact. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to reach out at any time. Even if you have concerns about a specific property or just general questions, I'm always available for a phone call.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay? Thank you very much. Bye.
Okay, I'll let Nathan get that first. So we get into the meeting, minutes of the previous meeting. Resolution 3-22. Moved by Councillor Stefuric, seconded by Councillor Sales, that the minutes of the Council and Committee of the Whole meeting held December 14th, 2021 be accepted as circulated. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Carried. Business arising from the minutes, Committee of the Whole recommendations. Resolution 4-22. Moved by Councillor McGrath, seconded by Councillor Stefuric, the council approve the appointment of Kelly Chisholm to the Schreiber Public Library Board for the term of council ending November 30th, 2022. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Welcome aboard, Kelly. What was that? Sorry. 4, okay. Resolution 5-22. Moved by Councillor Stefuric, seconded by Councillor Morrow. The council approve the attendance of D. McGrath and K. Mullins at the 2022 NOMA Annual Conference and AGM to take place April 27th, 28th, 29th, 2022 in Fort Francis, and that expenses be paid as per township policy. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Carried. Accounts for payment. Resolution 6-22. Moved by Councillor Stefuric, seconded by Councillor McGrath, that checks issued on the general bank account in the month of December 2021 in the amount of $348,362.10 for general accounts payable be approved and ratified. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Carried. Resolution 7-22, moved by Councillor Sales, seconded by Councillor Stefuric. The bank debits issued in the general bank account in the month of December 2021 in the amount of $60,280.28 for payroll be approved and ratified. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Carried. Resolution 8-22. Moved by Councillor Sales, seconded by Councillor Stefuric, that council authorize the write-off of property taxes in the amount of $210,231.61 for the following property tax accounts. 585-10000309800 and 585-10000310000. Discussion?
Those numbers don't mean much to anybody, but an address would, but I guess that's not the way it works.
Yeah, you can essentially look it up.
You know, I'm not trying to make a big deal out of it, but I just, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
All those in favor? Carried. Can't even remember what properties there are off the top of my head. Resolution 9-22. moved by Councillor Stefurek, seconded by Councillor Morrow, that bylaw 1-2022 being a bylaw to provide for an interim tax levy and to provide for the payment of taxes and to provide for penalties and interest be given first, second, third, and final reading and enacted. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 10-22, moved by Councillor McGrath, seconded by Councillor Stefurek, that bylaw 2-2022 being a bylaw to authorize the execution of an agreement between the Township of Schreiber and the Rossport Local Services Board for Fire Services be given first, second, third, and final reading and enacted. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Carried. Resolution 11-22, moved by Councillor Stefurek, seconded by Councillor Sales, that council accept the quotation from Beano Insurance, BFL Canada, for 2022 insurance coverage in the amount of $126,199 plus applicable taxes. Discussion?
What is that in regards to?
This is for our annual municipal insurance. And this is what we've been lobbying for a bit. It just keeps increasing substantially each year.
Yeah, that was 25,000 one year.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Right, and the rationale is provided at the beginning that it's due to the global climate, lots more natural catastrophes, and a handy transit that also went up by about $7,000 because of a situation in Ottawa.
You're kidding.
So it's, it's
We're in a hard market.
Well, it says municipal insurance coverage, like, so what does it cover?
yeah, yeah.
Buildings, vehicles,
Our property, buildings, it's
Like everything, Doug.
arena.
Okay, well, those are, facilities, yeah. Is there, that's it, it's just facility buildings and stuff, or is there, involves liability or what?
Yep. So it covers liability, everything. The breakdown is all there right in the proposal, right? So in each section, they'll Even you have like excess liability, for instance, that's anything above and beyond what the initial premium covers. So
Yeah.
it's quite comprehensive. And just like any of your home insurance policies, you have to go through really every single page in detail to see
Yeah.
what's included, not included.
Okay.
Acts of God, for instance.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, all those in favor? Carried.
It's a difficult one because we have no choice. We need it, otherwise we can't operate.
No doubt.
So we'll move on to the committee of the whole portion of the meeting. Department reports and committee or board minutes. Number one is the treasurer report.
Looks like a bit of good news here with substantially reduced arrears balance as of December 31st, 2021. As you can see, the total number of properties, that didn't change so much. It just, again, because one of those things where it's like the 80-20 rule, where 20% of properties carry the most arrears.
Still better than a bigger number than the year before,
Yep.
so.
Yeah, no, it looks good.
What's the difference?
I don't know, $500,000?
Yeah, about roughly 500,000
Is that right?
ish. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It's been reduced by half.
Yeah, a bit more than half.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, number two, Community Economic Development Manager Report, the Senior Programming and Initiatives Grant Applications.
Yeah. So a number of applications, there's two that we applied to and one where we have confirmation from last year. So we got confirmation for the Seniors Community Grant Program 2021-2022. That's $16,799 that we'd be getting in order to facilitate virtual programming for the senior center. So that's really good news. The other two grants that they're looking to apply for is the New Horizons for Seniors grant. It's $25,000. And they're aiming to use this to apply for a community getaway for the seniors. If you remember in the past, it was a trip that was done to the Magnus Theatre. As for the United Way Community Investment Fund, the goal here is to apply for hampers to give our senior center members pantry goods. It's another $25,000 grant. So one is confirmed. We're waiting for hopefully good news for the other two.
Yeah, good work
Awesome.
by
Okay.
our staff here to get those grants in the works.
Yeah, for sure.
Lots of opportunities here for our seniors.
I got, are they 100% funded grants?
Typically for these, they have been in the past. I can confirm that with our Community Economic Development Manager.
I don't think we contributed a portion to like the
Yeah.
last.
I don't know, it's just more,
No, I know, but I don't think
and
we
that's
did.
a lot of people don't understand about grants is, I mean, they're smaller grants, but
With
Still,
usual
you-
ratio.
if they're 100% grants, that's the ones you want,
Yeah.
for sure.
I believe that they are 100% funded. I'll let you know if it's any sort of ratio, but as you know with the other one that was confirmed, they did not invoice us for our amount, so.
Okay. Bylaw enforcement report.
Did we get a court date for the one that's in before the courts? Does that mean it's physically being presented to court? Or we're still waiting?
I believe there is a date set. I believe it was towards the end of January, if I recall.
Okay, number 4, Schreiber Public Library Board meeting minutes.
So we do have a high school summer student,
Yes,
finally.
yes.
That's good.
Well, it's a co-op.
Why do you say finally, Dan? What's all?
It's not like the page on. Are you reading about the high school student co-op?
Yeah, so that's,
That's like a
and
co-op.
we'll, okay,
That's
and
a
we'll,
course.
and we'll consider the summer student
Yeah.
position. That's the one that was
Yeah.
outstanding and,
So she'll start as like the co-op student and then hopefully.
yeah, nobody yet applied for the summer student
No.
position, so this is encouraging.
No, and we just appointed Kelly to the board, which is, she's replacing Linda as the Rossport representative.
Right.
So that's good.
Okay, so now we'll move on to the number 5, department reports, a status update from our new Director of Operations. Is Tammy gonna take it, or are you Nathan, or?
Yeah, I mean, if there's any questions on the status update, you can have Tammy answer some of those questions. There's quite a bit that happened
Yeah.
in a very short time.
Welcome to Scrabble.
Yeah, it was not a good week or it was a good week.
Sink or swim.
Jump in and get right at it.
That's right.
I mean, I had a question about the heating thing that broke.
Yep.
How preventable was it? Was that a fluke thing? Like, I get the grader was probably not something that we saw happening, but was this something that we could have saw and probably fixed sooner to save money?
Yeah, Tammy, if you want to answer that.
I believe so. It was patched at some point. It had an Allen wrench jammed beside the shaft with a hose clamp around it. So I think it was a Band-Aid fix at one time. I'm not sure what happened in the past, but it was never brought forward. It certainly would have been a cheaper fix had it been taken care of back when it originally broke.
Okay.
But because the shaft is off center now, it would have caused some pretty significant vibrations. And it just caused, one thing after the other with the whole assembly.
That's up at the town garage building? or-
No, that's
That's
in
here.
this wing down here.
Oh, here?
Yeah, it's a
Yep.
roof mount
Oh.
unit up here that's gone.
It's
Right.
11 degrees in the senior center.
So we have space heaters. We've got a rad in the hallway. We reset that. We've got that going now. We jacked up the heater in the foyer between the doors, propped those doors open. So we're maintaining the heat. This fix is going to take about 3 weeks to get it done properly.
What exactly was the root of the problem?
Like I said, the motor went a while back, and it was patched at that time with this Allen wrench on the shaft.
Oh,
And that caused vibration, so your shroud on the fan is broken. All your fins are broken now. The motor was tacked, so it was welded at some point. The vibrations also caused some cracks in the framing, so those all have to be replaced. So it's just easier to take the unit to Thunder Bay, have it repaired properly, have the motor and blower assembly replaced on the unit, and then they can put it back in.
oh yeah.
Okay, so I guess with that being said, we have a lot of aging stuff. Do you think maybe you could come up with like a list of what needs to be done ASAP so we don't have like a 3 times the amount of money that we're gonna spend type of situation?
I
Is
have
everyone-
noticed that
I know Dan asked for that before.
Yeah, priority list.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted like a maintenance,
Well, like if we didn't have to spend this and we could have just spent $5,000 2 years ago, we should have did that. Obviously.
Yeah.
Could we have something like that?
that's something we're definitely working on. It's part of our asset management to fully encompass all of our assets and comprehensively come up with a plan to, identify the asset, list, get them into the program, then actually track there and hopefully put in the maintenance schedules on there, as well as track how much we're spending for these items every time there's some sort of break or maintenance issue, so that, we could comprehensively say, hey, guess what, over the years, we spent this much amount of money in maintenance. It looks like this thing is a problem, and it's really reoccurring. A lot of that does need to get organized, and I know that Tammy's had some background dealing with citywide in the past, so we're really hoping to get that all organized and figured out.
Okay,
Good.
that'd be great.
Yeah.
So, we'll just see that the rink is gonna be flooded. Or, the outdoor rink? Is that next Monday?
I think they put some water to it today,
Oh, okay.
and they will continue to flood tomorrow. They had to get rid of the snow, of course, that fell, but I believe they put one layer on there today.
Okay.
Yeah.
And will continue through.
So, what are the rules on using that?
About to ask that.
Yeah, what are the rules on the COVID rules on using the outdoor rink?
I believe it was at 50% occupancy last we checked. For us, it's we're just going to put a reasonable number. I believe last year we put the capacity at 15. So
15, so, okay.
yeah.
Who's gonna police that? Is there gonna be somebody policing it, or?
Generally, we never really go over the limit, just because it's
Nobody's ever done any policing on that. I mean,
No, I'm just saying with the COVID.
Do you think you have to? Like,
No,
I don't get that. Like,
it was just a question.
it's not
though.
like there's 40 people out there. You never see that or anything close to it. I mean, I don't know.
And then my question is, once our guys get it ready once, they're done, right? Are they gonna be in charge of shoveling it off every time it snows, or is that on people?
In the past, we've had what you say people voluntarily take care of that snow.
Cause like our 3 guys aren't gonna be able to go clean the town and then somehow have time to do like the outdoor rink. It's just not gonna happen,
The
right?
priority for us is always going to be our roads.
Okay. Like as long as people who use it understand that and don't expect it to be pristine at all times.
Exactly. When there's snowfall, our priority is roads, sidewalks, only when that's 100% clear.
And I mean, it was kind of different last year because our arena wasn't open, so those guys kind of were able to keep it decent. But those guys, this arena's going to be open again.
Yep.
They're not going to be over there to shovel because they got to take care of an arena. As long as everyone's aware, it's
Some comment to save money.
I like I sure hope the arena's going to be open.
yeah.
I like your enthusiasm there. And
I just don't want people to get angry at our staff because the outdoor rink isn't shoveled off because they're clearing the roads and maintaining an arena.
no, I mean, they're going to be, it's going to be like Thunder Bay. Like, they don't even get to some streets in Thunder Bay for 72 hours.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're going to do our streets, we're going to do our sidewalks, we're going to do our hydrants. There is priorities, and then if it's a huge storm, for sure we're going to give a hand, but it could be a couple days later, for sure.
Okay.
And Jamie will keep an eye on that. And we got, I just wanted to say we got around to it a little bit later than we wanted to, because there was an issue over there with a hydro wire. And we've had some staff off sick. But we got the first flood on today and we're moving forward and everything's starting to look good, and we're catching up a bit on our snow removal and everything, so.
Over the years, I've seen a lot of people that use the facility and they're plowing snow.
Yeah, that's great.
Including myself.
Yeah, that's
You know,
awesome.
like, if there's not a scraper there, well, go home and get one. You
Yeah,
know,
I just don't want someone showing up there, it's not flooded, and then they come down here and yell at Nathan that the outdoor rink isn't shoveled off. Like,
Well,
that's not fair.
That's full of crap.
Well, that's not fair, that's not fair, but that's gonna happen.
It's gonna,
obviously.
I'm saying it might happen, that's all,
Yeah, no, it's, and like you say, I totally agree with you. I sure hope that arena's open. I guess we'll go to number 2 for the grader repair.
There's a recommendation from the Director of Operations. The Schreiber accept the invoices from Strongco for a total of $15,358.68 plus applicable taxes for repair work to the 2015 Volvo grader. There's also the recommendation the council accept the quotation, number 3.
Okay.
Put them together.
Yeah.
That council accept the quotation from Strongco of $70,093.47 plus applicable taxes to replace the hydraulic transmission off the 2015 Volvo G960B grader. We've been having some serious issues with the grader, and the first invoices you're seeing is when we sent it to initially get fixed over the Christmas holidays, and it came back and the transmission then went down, so you're looking at a $70,000 fix. There's also, is it the bearings that will have to be done as well?
Bearings and seals on the tandem.
Bearings and seals in the tandem. So that's likely going to get looked at as well.
Is that on account of the shaft breaking?
No.
No?
Generally on a grader, it's on the wing side that you'll see the seals and bearings go. In this particular case, I don't know the history of this machine. It might have been done at some point already, but now it's on the left side that's leaking. And that can potentially be a serious issue. If it's not repaired, you could end up losing a wheel.
Ultimately, a recommendation here has gone to fixing the grader. It's at half its lifespan, and before we even came to that recommendation, we really had to research and do our work. So thanks, Tammy, for looking into the cost of leasing a new one, renting one. It's just substantial. That's what we were really surprised to find. Even buying a brand new one, we're looking at almost $500,000.
Now, we looked at all options and a seasonal lease and the whole bit, and prices were just out of this world. Like,
The 6-month
there's
lease
no way you can do it.
at $14,446 per month.
What's the timeline on this repair?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, so it's here now, it's gotta go floated back to Thunder Bay?
We got the rental unit up on Monday, and when they dropped that one off, they grabbed our grader, and it's at Strongco right now.
Okay.
And they're going to start taking it apart. The new transmission should be in Thunder Bay by Wednesday at the latest, and they said 2 days they should have it in and tested and ready to go again. So by the end of next week, we should have our grader back.
Okay.
Awesome.
So they're just waiting on the okay from us tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's gotta be done.
Yeah, winter's a long way from over.
Yeah. So we're okay to go with, well, obviously we got the 10,000 or 15,000 fixed, but now we're okay to go with the 70,000, transmission and,
That's obviously will be a budgeted item in our 2022
Yeah.
budget line, obviously.
Yep.
yeah. And we got the, well, like Tammy said, we have the rental here for a week or two till he'll pick it up when he brings the other one back.
And also, I mean, it's a crappy situation, but it sounds like you guys handled it really well. And it's pretty,
It's one of the soups Tammy got into when she first got here.
a great job.
Yeah, no, it was really good. The way it was handled, it wasn't really good that it happened.
No, but
Okay, so we're good with that. We'll go ahead with that repair. You can tell Strongco in the morning, and number 4 then, the heating unit.
So a recommendation from the Director of Operations to accept the quotation from Claude Darling of $12,680 plus applicable taxes to replace the motor and blower assembly over here at 204 Alberta Street.
And I think I would have to go ahead with that one too, because they've already been up on the roof and looked it over, and they know what they're doing with it. And so
Yeah, it's not getting any warmer.
Nope.
No, it's really a priority for
Yeah.
us to get the heat back up there.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Tell Claude Darling in the morning then. And on a brighter side, me, Bruce, and Dom were up at the museum yesterday, and it's good there.
Oh.
Everything's good.
that's
Did you get that electrical panel sorted out?
Yep, it seems to be sorted out and everything now, and
Okay.
everything seems to be good there.
What
So.
about the paranormal that's going on there? I shouldn't say that.
put that on the marketing brochure.
Okay, you got everything you need, Tammy?
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay, we'll get into question period.
No questions.
No questions. Okay, we'll go right into communications then. Number 2, resolution support for the NOMA. We okay with that?
Yeah, I think we should support our NOMA.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's good with that? And then you got the minutes of the DSAP there, number 1.
Yeah, nothing jumped out at me there.
No, nothing jumped really. Then that number 3 is a time issue, I mean.
Yeah, savings time, no more.
I like our daylight saving time.
Okay, so support the normal one. Okay. Move into unfinished business. Number 1, the library board memorandum of understanding.
So we had staff, would you say, review and present this to the library board. The library board came back with some amendments, and the staff level, we accepted some amendments. They're just pretty much we're bringing it to council at this stage right now. So if there's no further amendments at the council level, what we'll do is we'll bring it back and pass it as a bylaw.
Sounds good.
Sounds great.
And number 2 is our Roma program. It's just put there too.
Information.
Yep. Okay, so there's no other business, so that concludes our meeting for tonight. So resolution 12-22, moved by Councillor Sales, seconded by Councillor McGrath, that the meeting now adjourn at 7:55 p.m. All those in favor?
Aye.
Carried.